Hello and welcome to Following Models Kit Review Time. Today we've got AK's latest release. We've got the Land Rover Series 2 88-inch. And to be honest with you, this is a kit I didn't think we'd actually see, but really wanted one. As an ex-owner many years ago, about 15 years ago, I owned a Series 1 86-inch. I say a Series 1, it was more like Series 2 and 3, but it definitely had that right feel to it. So as you might imagine by that, once you've owned a Land Rover, you'll probably be a massive fan, or you hate them to death. But they are fun to work on, they are great bits of kit and all the rest of it. And finally, we've got one in a modelling scheme. So, as you can see, down in front, we've got the AK boxing of it. It's 1/35 scale, very nice indeed. We've got very nice little marking options down in here. So we've got the Lancers around about 1965, all right, down in here, different ones. We've got the Royal Marines Commandos from 67. We've got the RAF one down in here, 1969. 1972 as well. We've got another one down in here from Nuremberg. And then obviously got one from the Sunni Desert in UN markings, 1973. And then last up here, we've got Lebanese Forces as well, one from 1970s and into the 80s. All right. So, nice old box art on this one, as you can see. And it is a properly licensed Land Rover as well. So that's very nice indeed. Pop that down in there. And we're greeted in the box by quite small sprues. Obviously, as you might imagine, it's quite modular how this is. All right. So we've got some nice bits down in here, as you can see. We've got the little box there and a couple of larger screws just down in there. And a little one down in here. And more. It still keeps giving. So we've got a little bit of photo etch, which is quite nice. We've got some smaller little parts down in here for some eyelets and stuff. And we've got those nice markings as well just down in there. All right. So if we start with what we've got in the old box here, what we're greeted by, very nice manual. Very thick, glossy paper, as you might imagine. It's got all your colour call-outs. Sprue layouts, as you know, there's three flavours of this particular one. We've got the soft top here, or the rag roof, as we commonly know it, down in here. Or you've got the hard top version, or there is another one, which is like a cab version, and then you've got another one, which is a wrecker. So there is a few little interchangeable parts through all three. So, starting off with, we've got the chassis. We've obviously got the relief springs under there as well. All right, so then obviously you are building it up exactly as you are. So you've got all the running gear going down here on the bottom, and then obviously you've got the wheels and hubs being fitted down onto this one, and then all the equipment down in here. So we've got the air filter and the battery and all the various bits and pieces being fitted under the bonnet. All right, then we've got a radiator going into this one. Then we've obviously got the engine, which I don't know which one it is, because if it's like mine, it'll have a 2 1/4 petrol in it. That's why I haven't got one today, because it costs a fortune to run. But anyway, you've got the nice one going down in there like that with the manifold and all the system. Fan blade fitting onto the front and all the rest of it down in there. We've got the water pumps and that all being fitted down in there. Very nice indeed. Then obviously we've got the transmission down here at the back going onto it. So we've got all of the sections going down, giving you technically the full drivetrain all the way through on this one. So that's really nice indeed to see that. Drivetrain obviously being fitted down into there as well, getting those onto the diffs. And then obviously we're going down there all the way with the underside with the chassis. Obviously we've got the prop shafts being fitted onto this one and everything going down in here. Then obviously building up from the chassis up. So what we're saying about this kit is really nice, because to be honest, having taken many Land Rovers apart over the years, I can see all the parts in here, which makes it quite interesting. All the bits you fought with over the years. Anyway, running right the way through, as you might imagine, you're just building it up, getting all the various bits and pieces into this one. We've got all the steering stuff going down under here as well. Got the exhaust system being fitted down there underneath there and everything right the way through. And then obviously we've got the other bits just being fitted down here at the bottom. So we've got bumpers front and rear, things like that. Fuel tanks, again, if they're like the Series 1, the fuel tank, you sit on top of it. So we'll see how they are on this one. And they're actually a bit lower on this one, not the good old ones I had. So anyway, as you can see, now we're working up on the actual main body of the vehicle itself. So obviously we've got the bulkhead being fitted into there. You could make it really realistic and rust it. And then obviously we've got everything else being fitted down into this one, as you can see, right the way over it. So again, some really nice touches with the indicators and the side lights as well, being a little clear part being brought through. That's a really nice touch as well. And again, looking through this, there is some really nice bits down on here. So obviously we've got the tail lights and the various bits and pieces being fitted into this one, all the rear stowage equipment. So we've got jacks and braces and all the rest of it. And then down into the interior, as you might imagine, it's a Land Rover. It's going to be quite very simple ones down into this. All right, so that's fair enough. Then we're obviously working into the back as well, so we've got a couple of bench seats in the back, and then down here on the front as well, we've got obviously the windscreen motors fitted there. Doesn't look like you can actually open up the vents on the front. It's probably one of the coolest things about having one of these. But anyway, there we go, all the way through there, and obviously all the various stuff going on the floor. So we've got pedals, steering wheels, gear shifters and all the rest of it, and range selectors. And then obviously depending on obviously if you're left and right as well, so it's quite nice that you can have it on both sides. And then you've got that body being dropped down on the top, which is really handy for painting as well. Last few minute details being added to it, as you might imagine, right the way through. So obviously you could have the spare on the bonnet or wherever you're going to check it, right the way through. And again, down the back here, we've got the option with the canvases as well. So again, we've got a couple of really nice canvas roof we're going to see in a minute. And then we've got it rolled up at the rear, and then the sides are actually in there. And again, decal placements being fitted on. Really nice colour call-outs, as you can see down in here as well. Full colour jobs on these. Really like this one as well. And again, down in here. And to be honest, they've even come along with what washes and stuff you could use for it. Clearly out the AK range. But as you can see, right the way through. But some nice options on this. And it's not big, but actually it's really nice. And it will go along with their other ones. So they did their technical sort of range down in here. And we've got all the other ones, got the Unimogs down in there as well. We've got the dash pickups and stuff like that as well. So again, really very, very nice indeed with this particular one. So instructions, I have to say, they are a step up from what we've seen before. That's very, very nice indeed. So some of the smaller little bits and pieces, we've got the decals. And again, I'm assuming this is their new standard of it, but looking at it, I don't think they are. It looks like the carrier film is on the underside. But again, I haven't used them yet. You'd have to pull them off and have a look. But they actually look really very nice indeed. Also as well, we get a nice piece of photo etch. So you can see that as well. That's actually really nice, especially for the scale of this. I think that's actually a really nice touch with it, especially, obviously, as you might imagine, the front grills, because that's a pretty much a must on these ones. Other small bits down in here as well, whilst we're on the close-up, we've got a couple of joint ones for the eyelets, towing eyes, things like that as well. So that's those, that's fair enough. We've also got the tyres, which, to be honest, look really nice. Very nice indeed. Standard military spec tyres by the looks of it. Full detail on the actual writing on the sidewalls and things like that as well. So that's very, very nice. And then what we've got in here, I'm assuming, and it is, we've got the tilt. And again, that is exceptionally nice. That's beautifully moulded. Really, really nice. What's really nice as well, you've even got the little side flap down in here. It's a little envelope pocket. So when you bring the rear tilt down the back here, the soft top bucket down in here, you've got little flaps and then you stick them through and they hook onto these little eyes. Even the little eyes are down in there, so it slides through this side pouch. And again, really very, very nicely done as well. You've got ejector pins on the inside and stuff, but generally I have to kudos to them. That is exquisitely done. I just want to see if it's got the eyelets on the front. And it does. It's even got the tiny little eyelets moulded in all around the front, which we normally don't see. So this bit here is the sausage bit at the back, which actually looks like a sprue, is actually the rear tilt as well. And you can see it's got a little tab on there. There's a little tab just in here. So that one's going to fit in there once you've obviously deburred it and taken the bits off, and you're good to go. All right. And to be honest with you, just these on the inside, it wouldn't be too much just to sand those out there, but you're not really going to see them anyway. But that is exceptionally nice. And also it's quite nice. I'll tell you what, I'm going to put that in there to keep it all together. It's nice to see it comes in a little protective box, so it stops it getting scuffed and chucked around and all the rest of it. So over into the bigger bits, we have down in here, just drop this top camera just a little bit, just to make it, get it all in one. There you go. So you can see, really nice. It's got, I would say, the correct texture as well. It's got very, very nice. And as I say, knowing these pretty well, having spent many an evening and on weekends lying under one, yeah, very nice. There's a couple of things. We've got ejector pins down in here in the doors, and also it's a one-piece door. You know, on these ones, obviously Series 1 you would have had two-piece doors. So again, there is room. I should think they could probably squeeze out another version the way they've done this as well with the chassis and things like that. So again, really, really nice. Technically, you've got the separate windscreen, so you could lie the windscreen down. But as we said before, for some reason, unless they're going to open these up, it's actually got these molded closed. But you could open those up, I think, and have it those open for the front vents. because I assume the vents are a separate piece that fit in the top of those. So again, a little bit of an option down into there. It wouldn't be rocket science to do that, but generally really nice. And even the bracing underneath that you can see is very, very nicely done with that one. So generally that's very, very nice indeed. Okay, so next up we've got some of the running gear down in here, and we've got the sort of chassis. Again, it's a really small, compact vehicle in a beautifully done kit, because the chassis there is really very nicely done. Again, there's lots of ejector pins and various bits on here that you're going to have to do a little bit of cleanup with, you know, to actually getting them out. But again, the mold itself is very crisp, very, very nicely done. Again, we're moving just a little bit closer, you can probably see that detail is really very, very nice as well. Front arches, again, really nice. As I say, we've got the shaft running down in here and all the various parts. We've got the front, and then again all these little items just down in here. They're all exquisitely done, even like the battery. We've got the battery with the heads on there and all the rest of it, and all the tiny little lumps and bumps and sticks and everything else are beautifully done. Really nice, sharp, crisp moulding on all of these. So again, that's really nice indeed. Then we've actually got the main body panels. So we've got the side panels looking very nice again, nice texture to them. You've got the raised rivets running down here as well, where they join the bed in the back. That's really very, very nice indeed. Again, very nice. You've got the bonnet, and again, if you can catch it in the light, it's got all the raised bolts for the bonnet. And again, very nice indeed. To be honest, again, a little bit of a pain, but the details all here. You can see under here, really, really nicely done. A little bit of texture to hide it, but you've got all the riveting, and it's all raised details down under here as well. But you have got 4 ejector pins that you're going to have to knock out of the way. I like this. This is actually really very, very nicely done. And again, that rear or the front bumper, I think it's the rear one, this one. Again, really very nicely done with the bolt heads in there and everything. Rear one as well, looking very, very nice. Sorry, this is the front one, isn't it? So again, really nice. Pop the towing eye on the front, rear one looking good. You got the wings, actually very, very sharp. It's a really nice sharp kit, which is nice to see. So down in here, we've got the engine. So this is Sprue C, and as you can see, you've got the engine block at the top, looking very, very nice indeed. We've got the actual shafts as well, drive shafts. Got the rocker covers down in there. We've got the manifolds. We've got the exhaust injection inlets there. Literally everything. So again, a little bit of wiring in there, and you'll end up with something looking very, very nice. Again, some really small pieces on here, but you can see they're all beautifully moulded, which is very, very nice indeed. Okay, so last up down in here from the main sprues, we've got a matched pair. Alright, so this is Sprue D, and as you can see, we've got the wheels with the hubs, looking very nice indeed. Actually, it's very, very nice. We get the headlights down in here, nicely done. Got the springs, very good. The bench seats, obviously the driver seats, and obviously this is a matched pair, so we've actually got 2 of these down in here like this. We're obviously left and right fuel tanks. Very nice indeed. Okay. Last up, we got the clear parts, which, to be honest, I don't think we need to get these out because they're all flat. So, again, that's it. So the glass parts are for the general one, because these ones here, I do believe, are actually for the truck cab for the roof on that one and all the others. So you've got all the glass parts for all of them just down in here and one like that. But generally, very, very nicely done indeed. Totally clear. Very, very crisp. So, yeah. I have to say, I'm really impressed. It's a lovely little kit. You've got such a small little package, let's face it. The Land Rovers, unless you're into the 110s and that, they get a little bit bigger. But 35th scale, you've got the 80s, the 86s and the 88s. They're all very, very small. And then obviously going up into the 109s, 110s, things like that, you're getting a little bit bigger. But it is beautifully done in a really small little package. And the great thing with this one, being 135th scale, it will go perfectly well with your sort of, your armour, your figures and bits and pieces, doing small little dioramas and stuff. As you might probably noticed. I'm a huge Land Rover fan, so there's no way I'm not building this in the future because it is an absolute must. And looking down at it, there's lots of small parts. It's going to take a little bit of work getting it all down in there. You're going to need your magnifiers on and stuff, but I can assure you it's definitely going to be worth it. Anyway, as I said before, there's 3 versions of this. You've got the one with the truck cab on it with a little bit on the back. You've got the wrecker version. It's obviously got a recovery crane on the back of it. We've got this one, which is a bit of a shame on the box art. I know it's showing you obviously with the tilt off, but obviously it has got the full tilt for it as well. So, and it's beautifully molded. So again, don't think you're just getting one here without it. So if you do want to display it with the actual rag top on it, you could do as well. Anyway, that's AK's beautiful small 1/35 scale Land Rover 88.